if you're Biden, okay, and you have now 30 days or whatever it is left, from a rhetoric standpoint, what what would you do? Because it seems to me that what they're choosing to do is minimize the risk right now. That seems to be a collective, let's just make it seem like everything's okay and maybe everything will be okay. And is that the right move, or should they be more forceful with this? And what do you think? What are there historical examples of rhetoric that address this? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question. The fascinating thing is that for years, Biden was telling us that Donald Trump was an existential threat to the nation and to democracy in America and to the nation's future. Calling him an authoritarian, calling him a fascist, criminal, all of those things, all things that are accurate as far as I can tell. And so it's very odd for him to have gone from, here is this threat to the nation to then, and now we are going to have a normal, peaceful transfer of power. And it's confusing.
Yeah.
And, on the one hand, of course, we all know from Timothy Snyder, we do not give up in advance. We do not capitulate. And so it very much seems as though Biden has chosen the route of capitulation, as with, the news organizations and, of course, the robber barons and all these other folks. And so it's confusing and can be demoralizing and all of those things. That's one way of thinking about it. And sometimes I think about it that way. And then other times, more my LOL nihilism, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the roller coaster I'm riding. I'm like, good job, Biden, because obviously he is a threat to democracy and an authoritarian and a fascist, and he wants to destroy the American government. And I guess let him do it, right? And then history will judge. I don't know, right? It's on him, right? There's nothing really that we can do. And so it just depends on where I am on the roller coaster, because sometimes I'm like, you capitulator. I cannot believe you would do this to us. And other times I'm like, let it burn. Right? Like it wasn't a democracy anyway, right? It had the potential to be more democratic. Maybe like we didn't have the balls to break the machine. But maybe that's what needs to happen. It needs to break. And then once it's broken, then we rebuild it on, not slavery and not fascism, right? It's always been built on those things. It had the promise of being more democratic. But if they didn't want that, they're going to break it. Okay, like let it be broken and then we will rebuild, right? We'll swoop in. There's going to be a power vacuum and then there you go. We just are smarter and we have plans and we make it work. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I go between the two things all the time.